Hey, to whom it may concern, you contracted workers have to really watch how you speak about the independent contractors.
Straight up. Straight up, Joe. So, for people that's not familiar, that was Joe Budden speaking to certain podcasters. Now, he ain't named no names. And all of this is revolved around. Well, that video is old. But, you know, Joe Budden's been had beef with podcasters for a while now because a lot of people view him as number one. Especially Complex News. So, for people that's not familiar, Complex News put out a top 25 podcast list. And Joe Budden's was number one. Now, a lot of people might agree or disagree. I wasn't really familiar with Joe Budden's. Matter of fact, I actually tuned him out because, you know, he had a lot of domestic stuff back in the day. So, I don't really rock with that. But, I'm starting to find a newfound respect for Joe Budden, you know, because he called out Adam22 for his culture-vulturism. Like, he really got integrity and morals in the way he run his form. And, you know, for people that follow me, I'm big on that. I'm big on integrity, respect, dignity, honor, morals. You understand? Well, Gillie the Kid on being out of the game with Charlemagne the God and DJ Envy felt some type of way about it. And this is what them boys had to say.
I don't give a fuck about no list, Envy. Don't compare us to nobody that ain't stopping in the middle of their motherfucking podcast and saying, this episode is brought to you by Omega Accounting Solutions.
Now, before I get into how I feel about all of this, right? Joe Budden has spoke strongly on ad revenue and how he feel about ads being cut in the middle of your podcast. So, I was going to explain it and give y'all my point of view. But I'm just going to let Joe explain it again for the people that didn't hear it.
Talking about advertising, we're talking about a culture that is attached to advertising, right? So, how do I say this?
I'm sure that's somewhat predatory.
When you learn, it is. But when you learn the value of your podcast and your stream, then, I mean, you don't have to go and take this crackhead shit. You realize you can go get one Samsung or one Cadillac, or you need to meet one of these major companies that understand what you're doing and what you can offer. The Pusha T Arby's marriage.
Right.
You don't need to be a hoe for all of America. Because that's not by our design. That's by their design. Back to this advertising culture. That's what I was trying to say. Today, to get in some of these conversations that we're talking about, you relinquish control. You can still own your product, but you will relinquish control of what happens to that fucking IP. So they could just litter your shit with whatever they want.
Yep.
For however long they want or however short they want. And if it's not bringing back what they think it should bring back,
it's a dub.
Then what does your product look like when they're finished with you after they've fucking ruined your broadcast for the last 2 to 3 to 4 years? Now we turning on the fucking streaming farms and ghost bots and all of that shit. Now it's important. Can you move your audience?
Yep.
That makes sense.
No, it's about.
And the answer to most of that is
no.
No.
There are millions of podcasters that are taking $1,500 to $2,500 per ad from giant corporations. And I understand that, because if you times that a few times, it's a good fucking check every month that people really can't afford to turn away from. So I get that. Holing out was a whole different thing with plenty of reasons attached to it, but they're making it difficult to do so. Even if I submit some to these ads, it won't just be littered with do a mid-roll and a pre-roll and call it a day, because I hate it. I hate listening to a podcast and then fucking ad. It's like nails on a chalkboard.
And that's not the only thing he said. He got videos, and I'm gonna play in a second, that he go more into detail. And like I said, after watching this, I built a newfound respect for Joe Budden, because I think he moving with a certain level of integrity. Listen to him.
Everybody got to relax out here. Very pivotal decisions be made when you get to certain intersections.
Oh, it's more. It get deeper. Check him out again.
It get risky when you out here in independent contractor land. There's way too much check chasing going on in podcasting land. And then you niggas got the nerve to open your mouth and say something to a nigga like me.
Now, when I was analyzing this situation, I was thinking about, damn, Gillie, that's wild that Gillie made those statements, you know, because we done heard Gillie speak like this before.
Stop talking about money, man, because money don't unlame a lame. There's a lot of suckers out here with money and you on the list. But stop talking about money, man, and stop pushing that Bel Air on us, because they don't drink that shit no more. I got the ice electric blue bottle, and I got the lime green bottle that float in the air like Aladdin's carpet. We don't give a f. We don't want it,
So
man.
it had me thinking like, dang, Gillie, how can you go from talking how he was just talking about Rick Ross and keep talking about don't speak about money, but yet on his platform with Charlemagne basically make the same assertion that money means greatness or money makes you better. That's not what that means. Now, some people might feel like Gillie and Wallo do have the #1 platform. Not me, because I side with Joe Budden. You understand? For the most part, the same reasons that what Joe Budden said. Because once you become like how Gillie and Wallo is, where they got all these advertisers, they got all these people basically backing them, the product almost becomes watered down. Because now they control you to a certain level or degree. Now you will hear Wallo and them say that we got full control, but do you really? Can you really have full control of anything when you got other people investing in it? Because that's what that is. That's an investment. You got to shout them out because they're paying you to do that. So they can also pay you to sway your message. Now they can turn it down. But why would you want that influence in your ear if you don't need it? You understand? And it tripped me out that Gillie is speaking this way because of what he said about Rick Ross. That's basically saying the same thing as just because you got a following, that means you know what you're talking about. You know, just because somebody got a blue check, you should listen to him. But Gillie said money don't make you real. And money definitely also don't make you #1. Y'all understand what I'm saying, man? Straight up. Now me, I don't really like watching podcasts that got commercials. So I don't tune into Man Hours a Game like I may be used to when they first started. Because it was organic then. But once they got all these people donating to their platform and every 2-3 seconds you got a commercial, I can't rock with that, man, because it's hard to really get into it. In my opinion now, the followers that they have say otherwise. But in my opinion, I side with Joe Buddens, man. And I salute Joe Buddens for standing on morals, man. You know what I mean? Now, he admitted in further in them clips that he have made companies rich. He admitted it. It's cool. But he also said this at the end
Build
of the
yourself
day.
at the same time. So when the day comes that y'all butt heads, because that day is inevitable, you'll have something to fall back on. And you won't just be looking to take the next check from somewhere.
And that's what I agree with, y'all. If that's the route you're willing to go, make sure you really doing it for you. Don't get consumed by the people that's paying you. Because that can happen, man. And it almost becomes like now you can't even be yourself because you got so many people in your pocket. And is that really a happy life? To be sort of like a robot and being controlled by people that got more money than you. And what Gillie said to Rick Ross was true. It's not all about money. So how can he double back and say what he said to Joe Budden? I don't think you can, man. And we got to be careful supporting people who message flip-flop. Got to pay attention to the flip, man. Because people will say one thing, and then you'll catch them in another video, basically contradicting everything that they said before. So it's like, yo, can we trust you? Is you real? Or are these people just saying anything because they know that's what the people want to hear? Now that matters to me. But let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments, man. Who do y'all siding with in this situation? Now it ain't no beef. I told y'all before, I don't speak on beef. This just some friendly back and forth between podcasters. It's something to speak on. It's something to learn out of it. Never sacrifice your morals for money, y'all. And money, like Gillie said originally, don't make you real. And it also don't mean you got the #1 spot. Straight up. Let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments. Just keep it G-News.
I'm probably gonna die if I lead a clan. You got your turn and you turned your back. You turned around, ain't no turning back. I can't be the boss and no us and that. I'm bringing bow and I'm bipping with 2 times. I bought the drink and the cake, got a coupon. Make 20,000 a neck on a futon. Sitting out, cause my brother in Jumon. Why you telling people you selling fentanyl? Why you telling feds you selling shit at all? Why you telling cops if you about to get it all? I'ma tell you nothing, I'm already squeezing. You be dreaming about your dreams. I been living out my nightmares. I been missing, I been bad. The other night she was right there. I be lurking with my bros. I be crying with my mom. She be praying to the Lord that I don't turn into a monster. You be dreaming about your dreams. I been living out my nightmares. I been missing Kevin Bates.